What am I currently doing with my life these days? If you're new here, my name is Sucha, and I come on here to document and share different seasons and chapters of my life, infuse my philosophies, infuse my learnings, and really just tried and true the mission that has been ringing in so clear for me for so many years of my life is coming back home. My favorite quote is, "We're all just walking each other home," by Ram Dass, and that's what I just feel like we're on here to do, this giving and receiving right here. So for context, if you haven't watched my most recent video, and that will give a lot of context to what I'm coming on here to share today, is that I was let go of what I thought was my dream job. And for the past 2.5 years, everything, including so much of my identity, was wrapped up into this job. How I structured my weeks, like so many learnings from there, so many beautiful things. But also, and now it's officially been about 1 month since I was officially let go, and I kind of just want to share candidly on here, like what I've been spending my days doing. I want to normalize all of the emotions, all of the feels, all of the waves that you go through when you go through such a big life shift, whether it's a breakup, whether it's getting let go from your job, whether it's moving, like all of these things take a really big toll on not just our physical bodies, but psychologically, mentally, and emotionally. So getting right into it, one of the things that I have been really prioritizing these days with more of my spacious time has been tackling all of the adulting things that I had put on the back burner for several months. So one of them that is actually more recently catalyzed is getting my unemployment and going through that application process. My usual self always shies away from and avoids these things. Even if it's something like unemployment where I'm getting money, like my system just tightens up and I'm like, I don't want to do anything where it's like documents or financials or whatever. And actually, something that I was really able to grow through from the job I was with was diving more into the operational financial stuff. Is it my forte? No, I still think I'm a creator. I'm an artist. I need to be creating and producing and doing the things that most of my strengths are in. But is learning all these things really going to strengthen the way that I'm able to manage my life, feel organized, feel on top of my finances, not feeling like I'm putting things on the back burner, but have that continue to take away my energy? Yes. And so tackling my unemployment is definitely one of them. Another thing, I'm actually making my second trip to the DMV. I need to get some things squared away with my car, which actually is going to be some exciting news, but until it's all done with and I have my documents squared away, I don't want to share too much yet. But the actual process of it takes energy, and it takes a lot. But now that I have this spaciousness of time, I'm able to just have that be the thing that I do for the day. So I'm going to do my second trip to the DMV to hopefully square away a lot of those things. And then there's going to be a few other steps to like fully get everything in process. Okay, after that, if you haven't been here for a while, even before this job, I was running my own business called Live Blissed. And then I afterwards was doing business as Ancestral Camp. And I was running retreats, events, workshops all around San Diego and in different states, destinational retreats. It's something that still feels like it lights me up. I was also teaching yoga, but with that, I had an LLC, and with an LLC also takes a lot of operational financial management, whether it's like filing, taxes, just really viewing it as a company and running it that way and doing all the official things around that. And that was also something that I very much avoided and put on the back burner, and definitely had some late fees and things that I had to get squared away. So that's something that I've just been really wanting to completely create a blank canvas on. And then now I'm at a place where I have a blank canvas. So I want to decide, like, do I want to continue and keep this LLC alive? Do I want to do something with it? Or do I want to completely dissolve it and then move on to whatever my next venture is? So that is definitely, like, a lot of these things are official things that I need to do step by step, but it is also a lot of processing in my mind, which is probably why a lot of angst and overwhelm comes up when I want to tackle these things. So it's been a month since I got let go, but I've definitely been dancing with the time. So pretty much like 2 weekends after it all happened, it was my birthday weekend, and I was already wanting to celebrate with friends. My birthday also falls right during Labor Day weekend, so it's like another day off, and it was just more spaciousness. So I really leaned into quality friend time, quality relationship time. My partner also has a lot more space, which if you watch the recent video, you'll know why as well. And just really allowing myself to sink into that. And I actually did let myself just feel free with going out to restaurants, dressing up, just still feeling fluid and open rather than tightening up. I did still get some body work done. I really love getting acupuncture and massage and cupping and just all of the intentional healing around that. And then this was a trip that I had planned with my mom way before I got this news, but we had planned a trip to Alaska. I'm going to include a few clips here while I'm talking and explaining the trip, but it was a solid 10-day trip. And with traveling time back and forth, it was like 12 days that I was really just kind of letting myself be in a different world. Alaska is a place that I had actually been to back in high school, but this time I went with my mom. She very much wanted to go, and I have just this like calling to this place. It was so much of an immersion in nature, but experiencing it so many years later was also really beautiful. We got to do hiking, a lot of walking, looking at wildlife. I got to do some horseback riding. We went on a marine wildlife tour where we got to see a ton of different incredible animals. Ate pretty good food. Alaska has incredible wild caught seafood, especially salmon, halibut, and crab. So really dove into that. But I would say like most importantly, spending time with my mom, like 10 days, 11 days with my mom, it just being us two. That's such a special and rare time because I no longer live with her. We have our different worlds. We've had our different work ventures and projects and chapters, different social lives and settings. But for me, navigating through so many family stuff, and for us having more of like a separated, smaller family here in California, it was really a special time to just connect with her. There were a lot of emotions come up, and I also spent a lot of the time during the trip just diving into introspection. And it was really a process of letting myself feel all the things coming up, that loss of identity, the kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing next. And then also just feeling through like whether it was resentment or anger or really just like the sticky stuff around family, which there was a lot of, and having my mom as such a mirror, not just to reflect, but also seeing like, okay, what frustrations are coming up when I'm around family or my mom for this long. But my mom is really like, I would say I'm the closest to her. She feels like such a best friend to me. And so that was a really special time. I've been back for almost a whole week now. And so this has been the time that I'm really like, okay, I'm gonna start like not getting my life together. I want to give myself spaciousness to still feel lost and to explore things, but I want to get into all of that adulting stuff that I just shared, and also just diving into more of my art and creativity and projects that I've always said I want to do, but I haven't been doing. A few months ago, I just got the call that I wanted to explore music and explore my voice more, but also explore instruments. And so I want to share a little bit about what that musical exploration has been. I don't really know what the goal is, but what I do know with my musical journey is that when I have attended song circles, they have made me feel so alive, so connected with the people around me, just feeling such a vibration and a harmony and connectedness, even with people I don't know. And so I don't know what will come about exploring all these instruments and my voice, but I do know that eventually I'd love to share it more with the world and find that connectedness with people. Because for so long, singing and playing instruments was so much about it needs to be perfect or it needs to sound a certain way before I can share. And being a part of some community song circles, which I just went by myself and just like took that leap of faith and put myself out there, which was so nerve-wracking. Even if other people are singing along with me, to allow myself to fully project my voice was a lot. I worked with two different beautiful music teachers in San Diego. I'll include their links below. One of them, her name is Misty, and she really specializes in the drums. And so I do have a djembe, it's an African drum. And I also really explored my voice with a song teacher named Matia, and she also really introduced me to the magic of the harmonium. So I want to show you a little bit about that. So this is my new harmonium. It actually got delivered while I was in Alaska. This is another thing that I had actually made the purchase of before I got let go from my job. And it is quite an investment. It was more than $1,000, and I've never invested this much in an instrument, but this, and Matia was really showing me like how beautiful this was to accompany my singing, and it really just felt like it wasn't just my voice. I felt like I had this instrument to carry along, and so it just adds so much to the room. I am really I don't even know if I'm a beginner. I'm literally just experimenting, but I'm so excited to get to know this instrument. And it is actually from India, so it very much feels like my roots. This is the djembe, the African drum I mentioned. It has a beautiful sound. This is like goat skin on here, and when you lift it up and play it, it has some really beautiful tones. This is another new drum I got, and I believe it's called a frame drum. It's some buffalo skin, but it just has a really beautiful deep beat. And then I've had this sound bowl forever. This is definitely an instrument that I'll just put in the corner and sometimes forget about. So yeah, I've kind of been making a little section here in our cozy little studio. And then other forms of art, I mean, these are some pieces that I'd painted, but I really love the type of art where I could paint and then go over it with black pen. So that's something that I might continue to dive into. I got some little gardening projects going on, but yeah, the musical journey is definitely something that is calling for me and that I am really wanting to spend more of my days pouring time into. The other thing I have been wanting to just devote and pour more into that I have been spending the past few weeks getting to be more spacious with is my movement. So while I was in Alaska, I did get to do a lot more walking and trails and just walking around the town. And so that felt really good. And then since I've been back, I have been able to really do some movement in the morning. So even just home strength training, I have a few pieces of weights and gym equipment and a band here, but also I really want to pour more time into dance classes. That's the only thing, is that dance classes are kind of a further drive from me where I live, but I really do want to pour more time into that. And I've been wanting to get back into my yoga practice, which I got to do, and then just even some more freestyle dance and movement, and just really getting to feel into my body again, because when I was working, it was a lot of stagnation and sitting, and even if I was doing workouts, it wasn't consistent movement throughout the day. It was work and then pour it all into movement. And I've always felt like a very primal, beautiful approach to movement that feels best for my body is spurts of movement throughout the day, and not necessarily one crazy workout, but just fluid movement and exploration. Your body really does tell you. And so now that I've had time and more spaciousness these days to tune into what my body needs at the cycles, and also that relates to cooking as well. So I really want to just pour more time into slow spaciousness with every meal, discovering new ways, maybe even looking into more recipes and more creations. We have the Traeger outside, and I want to learn how to use it more and smoke up some really good meats. Just more spaciousness with the self-care, the movement, the nutrition, the health things. I feel like that really makes such a difference, and it's a really beautiful way to tap back into a deep recalibration, which is what I feel like I need so much. So my Alaska trip had inspired me because I did so much walking and hiking, and it made me remember how amazing it feels to walk. So that is something I've been spending more days doing here, even for a full half an hour. Every time I walk, I see new things. I discovered these olive trees, which are so beautiful, just feels so romantic and Mediterranean, and it just also feels really therapeutic for my body. And it's a different way of pouring more into my movement these days. Another way I like to get my infrared light on while I am devotion practicing, singing, pouring into music. frame drum helps me keep a good beat when I want to stay on count. La 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 la. Okay, it is the following day, but I wanted to pop on here and just give you a little summary of what I've spent the past 48 hours doing. Kevin, my partner, and I decided to just lean deep into amazing food experiences. So we did get on the trigger. Actually, he did, and he threw on a whole chicken and then also beef back ribs, which ended up being so delicious. We totally took everything, ate it off the bone like total carnivores. I also roasted some potatoes up and lion's mane mushroom, which is my first time ever trying it. And then the other day I made a Thai yellow curry, coconut curry, but it was featuring butternut squash, which definitely felt like a beautiful fall initiation. It was my first time doing that. I really want to get into all of the different cuisines and cultures and get more tools, what am I trying to say? Get more tricks in my tool belt. I don't even know what the saying is, but I just want to feel more familiar with the different flavor profiles of different cultures so I could get more efficient in whipping that up. But right now I was using a recipe as inspiration and then using what I have. So the Thai curry was delicious and we had it with some pork, but I also left it neutral without the meat and cooked the meat separately so that we could actually have some with chicken as well. And then now that the temperature is finally coming down a little bit out here in Fallbrook, I was able to turn on the oven and I made my favorite banana bread with walnuts and chocolate chips, and so that just felt so nourishing. I also tried out a class at a studio that I'd never tried before in Vista, which is still a little bit of a drive, but it's not too bad, and it's called Branch Yoga, and the class was perfect because my hip flexors had been tight, my IT band, all of that, and it ended up being just a really gentle yin class with sound healing, and the teacher actually had a harmonium too, which was so cool and felt very inspiring. And so that was really beautiful to lean into more community and still stay up here in North County, San Diego. And then I had a good amount of walking in, which felt good. Spent some time singing and creating and editing, which is also something I want to pour my time into, is filming and editing and creating in this way. Today, I'm really excited. I kind of got a little dressed up, but honestly, this is how I wish I could just dress all day, every day, which I can. And I feel like that was something I was thinking about. And it's like, this is a way that I devote myself to every day, is like showing up, dressing up, and that can look different every day, but we are going to a body movement class, which is at our favorite Latin dance studio, but they have a class called body movement, which is a little bit more solo dancing as opposed to partner dancing, but it's still kind of giving you the beats for the foundation of salsa and bachata. And then after that, we're going to our favorite cafe, also in South County, called Maya Moon, and they are having an autumn equinox cacao circle. So we'll be in community, get to meditate, get to be with people. So it'll be a great time. With that, I want to close off the video here. Thank you so much for watching and just being a part of this journey that I'm documenting and processing. I definitely have felt some really beautiful pockets of peace, and I'm so grateful for that. If you liked this video, give it a like and subscribe. Really grateful to have the energy to be on here.